Johnny, what the hell are you doing? What the
Dad.
Really?
Jump it.
Oh, yeah. Shut the fuck up. So freaking Angels mess is out of here. Well, not really.
Dang, Pineapple Zach looking stuff here.
Pineapple Zach. Oh. Zach.
Oh, Zach!
What are you doing back here?
Oh, no.
Jeez. We got most of the stuff scooted and booted. That transmission is going in this car. That clutch is going in this car. That man is going in the trash can. Mazda, your time has come.
First problem is your fuse is blown. That's why the car didn't start.
Yeah, you would know about fuses.
Just replace the fuse. Good to go.
Let's see. Something goes here, and then it makes the whooshy noises here. And then I get to gap Johnny.
What?
What? But, oh, sorry. I get to gap Eric. On 91. 91 only.
Push it in.
Push it in.
Just push it in.
Here, move. Let me show off the beautiful... No, leave it there. Leave it there.
For this?
Yeah. This motor goes in here. That motor goes in the Supra. Yeah.
Yeah, you pay for the wire harness and everything. Yeah,
Well, I'm good.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
I guess I have an extra ECU.
There's an ECU.
The ECU plugs. There is an ECU. It's part of the battery box, actually. Gotta find out what all this shit does. I'm guessing that's a fuel line. Yeah. Part of the battery. It's been about 10 minutes and I already have a parts list that probably equals more than $1,000. The motor mounts, here's one. That's an OEM mount. It just goes right there where those 4 studs are. That's one of them. The dude who owned it before me, the mount right there. That's a Corksport upgraded transmission mount, and that just mounts right here. And then, so that's 1 out of 2. But I'm guessing, as he did say he sold the motor. Let's see. There should be one that goes over here. I'm most likely gonna have to get a mount kit. And then, what else? Hi, Johnny. Good thing is this is a Japanese car and I have metrics up the wazoo. Also, I can just steal parts off of his Evo if I really need to. I have the radiator support here, so I'm not completely fucked. I have 1 headlight. He said he would give me the other headlight. I have 1 fog light. That's the bumper. Those are the OEM plastics, and I think that's a grill. Yeah. But I don't really have everything. So part of this car is going to be how good of a engineer am I, and or how good of a mechanic am I to assemble the Legos that is this puzzle piece. Yeah, I just need to start piecing together stuff, and now that I actually have a chance to look at what I have and don't have. But it looks like everything on the motor, Eric says I could just like wheel it in and it would probably, I would probably be able to hook everything
Makes
up.
all the sense to me.
I know. Probably gonna get started tomorrow, but just want to be able to update and say that we got the car in here. But this is like the first step in every build. To be continued.
The next day.
I'm waiting on parts.
The next day.
It's about time. I'm getting a bunch of parts in, as you can see here. Everything is basically coming in for the Mazdaspeed. I have motor mounts that I bought. I originally bought OEM, but I've heard from forums and my own research and also friends that own Mazdaspeed 3s. I don't want the motor mount sauce, and I don't want a blown out passenger motor mount. So I went with the Damon motor mount for the passenger side and the transmission mount. I already have a Cork Sport rear motor mount, basically the one on the bottom. I had to order power steering reservoir, coolant reservoir, and a cap. I got a flywheel and a clutch kit from ACT. Went with the Pro Light and the ACT Heavy Duty. It's good for like 415 foot-pounds. Cork Sport short ram intake, Cobb access port because I got to tune it. Went with the Cobb XLE bypass valve for when I do the intercooler. I had to get a slave cylinder, a intermediate shaft because the previous owner of the car just gave it away. I don't know why, but and then I also went with the Cork Sport injector seals. I plan on upgrading turbos. I've heard that the injector seals are like a known weak point, so I'm gonna be upgrading that. But to my right, I got the motor here. It's just ready to get taken apart. I'm doing a water pump, new belt. I'm gonna start disassembling the intake manifold so that I can get to the injector seals. They're coming in Monday, but I have basically all the other things. My motor mounts are coming in tomorrow, and for me, I guess the order of operations with every car is, I'm in California, I have smog. I can't do fun things until I get smog. So I will be leaving it stock for now, but that just means I get to show the upgrade process. I do plan on ending at around stage 3, whatever you want to call it. I do want to make 400 wheel, and on the 85. Cobb has a flex fuel sensor, their own proprietary thing. Haltech, I bought their flex fuel sensor so I could use it with the Haltech. Cobb has their own. So I'm going to use E85, and I'll also be able to get tuned on 91. That car's up first. This car's up next. I'm getting parts for the S14 as well. I ordered a Ross Tough Bond. I ordered a Ross Tough Bond crank pulley. That came in. I ordered a tap set for the coolant port that I needed to do. I showed you in the other video. Maybe I'll link it right here. I have an oil pan already. The manifold can go on. The turbo can go on. Basically just waiting on me. So I'm gonna get started right now. This is my favorite process, is doing the engine stuff. So if it seems a little bit more slow, oh well, but I just want to be detailed, and I'll show you everything along the way, hopefully. But for now, I'm going to start working on the motor. Maybe I'll put it in a time lapse, but I kind of want to do like live and give torque specs and process to show it. I mean, I have the factory service manual, so I see everything, but people that don't, maybe this could be a informational video. Oh, I guess I can go over parts. First parts of the build. I'm just going to show the parts off because everything's sitting here, and I just unboxed it and made it look pretty. But this is everything that has come in so far. There's still more stuff that's going to come in, but for now, this is the setup. So went with the Cork Sport Series 2 intake. I went with the white couplers, black piping, map, which goes into this little doohickey. Went with the stage 3 exhaust hangers. The exhaust ain't going nowhere. OEM power steering reservoir, because that was missing. Brand new coolant reservoir, because that was missing. That is the bypass valve I was talking about from Cobb, the XLE BPV. Had to get a battery tray bracket because that was missing. This transmission mount bracket basically just bolts onto the trans, and then the motor mount goes through this hole right here. And then I had to buy a new input shaft, and it has the bracket on it so I can bolt it to the engine. New water pump, new slave cylinder. We're gonna do the ECT Pro Light flywheel and heavy duty clutch disc. Let's see, give you a spline or input clutch alignment tool. The new pilot bearing. That new release bearing, and then basically this is instructions. Let's see what color it is. I want yellow. And then what's the part number? It includes that. So it'll be nice. And then the final party trick is if I have all these parts and I don't have anything to run it, what's the point? Comp access port. Hello. Hello. That is all the parts that I have on right now. And then let's get started on you. All right, so right now I'm just, I need to buy hardware still. So for the passenger motor mount, this is the front of the motor. This thread pitch here is M12 by 1.75, so there's just 2 nuts right here, and then there's 2 bolts. Those are M12 by 1.75, and it's times or by about 45 millimeters. So I'm basically just spinning the motor around, going around, seeing what I need. Looks like this might be a coolant hose for the turbo. The EGR, maybe? No. That's oh yeah, I think it is EGR. I need to buy a fuel line. This goes to the I think it's the high pressure fuel pump. And then I also need one of these lines. Goes towards, sure, somewhere over there, but you just cut. I'm probably gonna start working on taking the wiring harness off, labeling connectors, so that way when I put that shit in there, it's much easier to do because I'll know where everything goes. Now it looks like I'll need a radiator hose here and here. I'm guessing this is the upper, that's the lower. This AC line was cut, so I think I should have it in the car. That's fine. Looks like most of the wiring is on this side, so I have yet to find out what it does, but when I do, I shall let you know. Oh man, I need this too. Well, I think it's power steering, but oh man, yeah, okay. So next to your turbo, the Spinny Boy Spool Master, the Chinese Turbo Man snail. Anyway, next to here is this is the EGR, and this is the wastegate solenoid. It just gets plumbed into the wastegate, and then probably referenced to the intake. And this is what makes your Spoolie Boy go to 19 psi, sir. Johnny helped me with this because these foreign connectors they're just too new for me. I'm just used to freaking hose clamps like that. I'm old school. But this is the PCV hose. Just goes like Look at this technology. Hey!
Oh, sorry.
Just gonna leave the hose on here actually because that seems smarter. But the edge loosened, the clamp to go on the turbo, and then there was a nut right here just behind the harness. So now I should just be able to yeet. Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay, gotta take out that little hose. Okay, forgot to take off that clamp for the bypass valve because it just goes. Hi. Since this radiator hose got circumcised, I'm just gonna take it off right now just because it's in the way. So there's this hose that comes off of the water, basically kind of water station, if you will. There's also this coolant pipe. So after some research, I couldn't find a diagram that tells me exactly where that goes. I did find out that the oil cooler is coolant fed. And I was like, oh, what is this? Oh, what does that go to? Oh, that's coolant. It's auto body. So those are both to the coolant water neck, to the throttle body. So I need to find out where these hoses are and what they and basically buy them from Mazda, and then find out what this hose goes to, and also buy it from Mazda. But I'm gonna take off the inner corner now, just to get access and start looking under whatever's under here. But that's what it looks like without an intercooler. I'm gonna start taking off the wiring here, alternator. There's one on the, looks like it's a crankshaft position sensor. It just reads the little teeth, that magnetic wheel. It's crazy how close it comes. Then, yeah, just trying to work on these sensors up top. And basically, it seems pretty straightforward. Like, now that I know what kind of the general layout of this thing, this is looking less daunting. So I'm just admiring the engine here, but just taking pictures and videos for reference later on. Hello, Turbo. How often do you get to be underneath your motor? Unless you flipped your car up. So anyway, this bolt in this line looks like it's the turbo oil feed. This goes right there. This looks like, I don't know if that's a coolant feed, but it just goes to the EGR housing. So I don't know if it's coolant going through there or just gases. Hey, Johnny.
What's up?
Let's see. This is probably coolant right there, going to that feed. Trying to find.
It's a cute little turbo.
I know, right? KO4. But this is the small KO4. Oh, that's the fuel line for the high pressure fuel pump. Let's see. Yeah, I just had to take off the wiring right here, right here.
It's pretty simple once it's stripped down.
Yeah, that's the shield for the fuel line. So that's what actually goes to the fuel rail. So it's just held on probably because there's a lot of pressure in there. So this is a good design. Note to self: green plug seems to do something. It's very green. I doubt I'll forget where it goes. Alright, so with the radiator hose off here, This AC line seems to be the one in the back. It's cut. This one's still good. Boom. Should probably replace that seal though. Oh, and this bracket right here, this nut. I'm gonna take that one off. Got the probably the pressure switch or the shut off switch for the AC compressor. Don't know what this is yet, but that's probably the map sensor. Yeah. Alright, so basically got one section of the whole harness off. This is actually pretty easy because this is like one big plug, and it goes to the rest of the harness. So I just disconnected it from here, disconnected it from here, and then the only one I had to do was the map sensor, which I just unbolted it here. It's a 7mm, and then I took it out, pulled the plug, put this back in, so that way I don't lose it, and now the whole harness can just kind of float there.
Next time on Street Elite West Coast.
I may have dropped the motor. Thank you. Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
Got all the shiny pipes back on.
Nipple Man is here to make the VVL switch on. Hey, somebody saw my Alexis? Oh no, they didn't.